Listen, I'm going to tell you something you need to hear. If you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or like life is constantly pushing you around, it's time to stop being soft. Soft isn't about kindness. Soft isn't about being gentle. I'm talking about the kind of soft that makes you doubt yourself, shrink back, and let life happen to you instead of stepping up and taking control. That stops today. No one is coming to save you. That's the truth. If you're sitting around waiting for permission to take action, to be confident, to chase your goals, you're wasting valuable time. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. The problem is that too many people are waiting for the right moment, the right sign, or for someone else to validate them before they take a step forward. That hesitation is exactly what's keeping you stuck. Think about the most successful and strong women you know. Do you think they waited for someone to tell them they were ready? Do you think they had all the answers before they took action? Absolutely not. They stepped up even when they weren't sure, even when they were scared, even when they doubted themselves. And that's exactly what you need to do. The longer you wait for someone else to give you permission, the longer you stay trapped in the same cycle of frustration and self-doubt. A lot of people tell themselves stories about why they can't move forward. I'm not ready. I don't know enough. What if I fail? But here's the truth. No one is ever truly ready. No one starts anything with full confidence. Confidence comes from doing. It comes from stepping into the unknown, figuring things out as you go, and proving to yourself that you are capable. The first time you try something new, you're going to feel awkward. You might feel like an imposter. That's normal. The difference between people who succeed and people who stay stuck is that successful people take action despite the discomfort. They don't wait for confidence to show up before they act. They act, and that's how confidence is built. Let's be real. If you don't believe in yourself, why would anyone else? People respect action. They respect decisiveness. They respect those who have the courage to go after what they want, even if they don't have it all figured out. You don't need anyone's approval to start. You don't need someone to tell you you're good enough. You don't need to wait for the perfect timing because there is no perfect timing. There's only now and what you choose to do with it. Think back to a time when you hesitated to do something because you were waiting for permission. Maybe it was asking for a promotion, speaking up in a meeting, starting that business, or even setting a boundary in a relationship. What happened? You probably stayed stuck in the same spot, overthinking, worrying, and talking yourself out of it. And guess what? The more you hesitate, the harder it becomes to take action. That hesitation turns into a habit. You start doubting yourself more, and before you know it, you're trapped in a cycle of inaction. The only way to break free from that cycle is to take action before you feel ready. The first step is always the hardest, but once you take it, you realize it wasn't as scary as you thought. The fear of doing something is almost always worse than actually doing it. Your brain loves to overanalyze and come up with all the reasons why something won't work. That's its job, to keep you safe. But safe isn't where growth happens. Safe keeps you small. Safe keeps you in the same place, while other people, the ones who take action, pass you by. You have to start before you feel ready. You have to take action without permission. You have to decide right now that you're done waiting. No more excuses, no more hesitation, no more waiting for someone else to tell you that you're good enough. You already are. Now prove it. Excuses are the easiest way to justify inaction. And they are also the biggest reason most people never reach their full potential. They sound reasonable in the moment. I'm too tired. I don't have time. I don't know where to start. What if I fail? But the truth is, every excuse is just a way to avoid discomfort. It's a way to stay in the familiar, the predictable, and the safe. And safe might feel good in the short term, but in the long run, it keeps you stuck in the exact same place. watching other people move forward while you stand still. Think about it. How many times have you put something off because you told yourself you weren't ready? Maybe you wanted to start working out, but you convinced yourself you needed the perfect gym or the right workout clothes first. Maybe you wanted to launch a business, but you told yourself you needed more research, more time, or more money before you could begin. Maybe you wanted to set boundaries in a toxic relationship, but you kept waiting for the right moment to have the conversation. These are all just sophisticated ways of avoiding action. Because taking action means stepping into the unknown, and that's uncomfortable. The problem is that excuses become habits. The more you use them, the more you believe them. You start to think that your reasons for not taking action are valid, but they're not. They are just stories you tell yourself to avoid doing the work. Successful people feel the same doubts, the same fears, and the same resistance as you do. The difference? They act anyway. They don't let their excuses dictate their behavior. They don't wait until they feel like it. They don't negotiate with their own mind about whether or not they should follow through. They just do it. And that's the key. You have to stop waiting until you feel like doing something. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. If you rely on feeling motivated before you take action, you'll never get anywhere. There will always be a reason to put things off. There will always be a way to justify inaction. The trick is to stop overthinking and start doing. Action builds momentum, and momentum creates progress. Even the smallest step in the right direction is better than standing still. Think about a time when you pushed through an excuse and took action anyway. Maybe you didn't want to go to the gym, but you forced yourself to go, and by the time you got there, you felt better. Maybe you were nervous to speak up in a meeting, but you did it anyway, and your confidence grew. Maybe you dreaded starting a new habit, but once you took the first step, it wasn't as hard as you thought. It's the power of action. Once you start, the resistance fades. The hardest part is always the beginning. Now, let's address one of the biggest excuses of all, fear of failure. So many people avoid taking action because they are afraid of failing. But failure isn't the problem. The real problem is that you're afraid of what failure will make you feel. Embarrassment, disappointment, frustration. But those feelings are temporary. What's worse than failure? Regret. Looking back and realizing you never even tried. Because when you don't try, you fail by default. You need to shift your mindset. Instead of seeing failure as something to avoid, see it as proof that you're pushing yourself. Every successful person has failed probably more times than they can count, but they didn't stop. They learned, adjusted, and kept going. You can't grow without making mistakes. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you free yourself from the fear of failing. You also need to stop making excuses about time. Everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. If something is important to you, you will make time for it. The difference between people who succeed and people who don't isn't time, it's priorities. The truth is, you do have time, but you're choosing to spend it on things that don't move you forward. If you really want something, you have to stop saying, I don't have time, and start saying, it's not a priority. Because that's what you really mean. And if that stings, good. That means it's time to change it. Taking responsibility for your life means owning your choices. It means recognizing when you're making excuses and calling yourself out on them. It means deciding that you are done letting fear, doubt, and hesitation control your future. No more excuses, no more waiting, no more putting things off. Because the only way to get where you want to go is to take action right now. Life will test you. That's a fact. You will face challenges, disappointments, and moments that make you want to quit. But the difference between those who rise and those who stay stuck is simple. Strong women don't let their emotions dictate their actions. They keep pushing forward no matter what. If you want to build the kind of life you dream about, you need to stop seeing obstacles as reasons to stop and start seeing them as opportunities to grow. Every single successful woman you admire has faced setbacks. The difference? She didn't let those setbacks define her. She didn't crumble when things got tough. She took the hit, learned from it, and kept moving. There's a dangerous belief that if something is meant for you, it will be easy. That's a lie. The truth is, anything worth having requires effort, resilience, and the ability to push through discomfort. Growth is painful, change is uncomfortable, but so is staying in the same place, settling for less than you deserve, and looking back with regret. You have to pick your hard. Do you want the hard that comes from struggle and eventual success, or do you want the hard that comes from knowing you never tried? You have to understand that emotions are temporary, but decisions shape your future. If you let your feelings control you, you will never take the action you need to take. Some days you won't feel like showing up. Some days you'll want to quit. Some days you'll question if it's even worth it. That's normal, but successful people don't let those feelings stop them. They don't wake up every morning feeling motivated. They don't always feel confident or ready, but they act anyway. They show up even when it's hard. One of the biggest reasons people give up is because they expect results too quickly. They put in effort for a few weeks, maybe a few months, and when they don't see immediate success, they assume it's not working. But success doesn't happen overnight. It happens in the moments when no one is watching. It happens when you're grinding, pushing forward, and refusing to quit, even when progress feels slow. If you're waiting for quick results, you're setting yourself up for failure. The real test isn't whether you can start something, it's whether you can keep going when things get tough. Resilience is a skill, and like any skill, it can be built. The more you push through difficult situations, the stronger you become. Every challenge you overcome builds your confidence. Every time you get back up after being knocked down, you prove to yourself that you're capable. The only way to develop a strong mindset is to face discomfort head on. You don't grow by avoiding hard things. You grow by tackling them. The more you do this, the more unstoppable you become. Think about the strongest women you know. They weren't handed an easy life. They weren't given special treatment. They had to fight for what they wanted. They had to learn how to stand tall in the face of adversity. And so can you. Strength isn't something you're born with. It's something you develop through action. The next time you feel like quitting, remind yourself why you started. The next time life knocks you down, get back up. Every single challenge is shaping you into the woman you are meant to be. But you have to decide to keep moving forward. No one is going to hand you the life you want. If you want success, confidence, respect, or happiness, you have to go out and get it. Too many people sit around waiting for opportunities to come to them, waiting for someone to notice their worth, waiting for life to magically change. But that's not how it works. The only person responsible for your life is you. Every decision you make, every action you take, and every excuse you allow determines where you end up. If you're not where you want to be, it's because you haven't taken full ownership of your choices. It's easy to blame circumstances, other people, or bad luck for why things aren't working out. But the truth is, the moment you stop blaming and start taking responsibility is the moment your life starts changing. If you don't like where you are, do something about it. If you want more, demand more from yourself. No one is stopping you except you. The strongest women in the world weren't handed their success. They built it. They fought for it. They showed up every day, even when they didn't feel like it, even when no one was watching, even when it felt like nothing was working. You have to ask yourself what you truly want and then be brutally honest about whether your actions align with that goal. If you want success, are you putting in the work? If you want confidence, are you stepping outside your comfort zone? If you want better relationships, are you setting boundaries and communicating clearly? If you want respect, Are you demanding it with your actions, or are you allowing people to walk all over you? Your life is a direct reflection of what you tolerate. If you settle for less, you will get less. If you wait for permission, you will never move forward. If you keep making excuses, you will stay stuck. Taking ownership of your life means understanding that no one is going to save you. No one is going to suddenly give you the perfect opportunity, the perfect timing, or the perfect circumstances. You create those things by taking action. People who succeed aren't lucky. They are relentless. They make things happen. They don't sit around waiting to feel ready. They take risks. They fail, they learn, and they keep going. That's what separates those who succeed from those who don't. Look at any woman you admire, whether she's a CEO, an athlete, an artist, or a leader. She didn't get there by accident. She took control of her destiny. She stopped making excuses. She put in the work even when it was hard. She didn't let fear stop her. And that's exactly what you need to do. You can have the life you want, but only if you're willing to fight for it. You have to be willing to push through discomfort, to keep going when things get tough, and to refuse to settle for anything less than what you deserve. No more waiting, no more excuses. It's time to take full responsibility and start creating the life you were meant to live.